Alright, hello everyone and welcome. What a day. What a bumbling morning I've had here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Darkside Phil. Today is Monday, April 10th, 2017. Hello, and welcome. How you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Here's the deal, folks. I'm really late today. Tons of technical difficulties this morning. Just in the past half an hour. Number one, the pop-up notifications for people cheering and subbing and tipping me were not working. And I didn't know if it was something that I had done wrong or not, because this had never happened before. Come to find out, this was actually Muxy. Muxy is the service that I use to have the on-screen notifications during streams. And sadly, it wasn't working. Their servers were down, which I didn't know. And then because their servers were down, I had to completely restart my stream to get those messages to show up again. Alright, so I didn't know that. So that was number one. By the way, shout out to Darth Vidar Viking, who just did a 223-bit cheer, and he said, "Glad for your engagement, Phil. Good stuff." Thank you, Viking. I'm sure we're going to be getting tons of those kind of messages today. I will be talking about that in a moment, but let me get through my story first. So then, as I was setting up these notifications and trying to get them to work, then I spilled my drink, my VA energy drink, all over my desk and all over my legs. So I was cleaning that up. And then as I was trying to get all that going and get that cleaned up, then I accidentally restarted my stream. So it's just a ton of things back to back to back. Okay? And I obviously apologize for all of that. Sucks, but that's life. Sometimes things don't work out perfectly. But we're up and running now. Alright? Today will be two streams. Two gameplay streams. First stream here is Persona 5. This stream will be running for around 4+ hours. Okay? And then later today, I will be doing a Mass Effect Andromeda stream. Okay, so, two fun gameplay streams for you today. Hopefully you are entertained, and, you know, keep in mind that, you know, being here, watching the stream is awesome, but those who cheer, those who sub, and those who tip me during the course of the stream are significantly helping me and allowing me to continue to do this as a job, so thank you to those who are doing so. I just want to throw this out there. It was a little bit over a month ago that I started my new streaming methodology, meaning I'm more interactive with you guys and gals, and I'm talking to you, and we got the on-screen notifications and all that. At one point, last week, I was up to over 270 subs. Sadly, over the weekend, what happened is, all those people who initially subbed a month ago when I started the new attitude, right, all their subs lapsed. So we're down to 239 subs again. Which means that right now, you know, we have 9 emotes. Thank God that Twitch does not take away emotes. That's the good thing, that is, you know, even if you drop below the sub threshold, they don't take away emotes you've already added. But I had the ability to have up to 10 emotes, but we only had 9, and you know, people were trying to brainstorm on what would be a cool 10th one. But now that we dipped below the 250 sub threshold, sadly we can't do that 10th emote anymore. So, just gotta remind everyone, if you were a sub of mine and you were enjoying being a sub, using the emotes and not having to see ads and getting those crowns next to your name, you gotta resub if you want to continue to have all that. I know a lot of people use their Amazon Prime subscriptions to sub to me over the past month. Those do not auto-renew. You have to manually do those every month. Okay? So, please do so if you have not yet. I appreciate that. It obviously helps me out tremendously. So, please, let's see here. Alright, I just want to make sure, yeah, everything's good to go. The stream is looking good. It's just, sadly, because I had tech difficulties, I get the feeling we're going to have a slow start here today. That it's going to be tough for people to join. Or not tough, but it's going to be a situation where people are going to be joining slowly because I had this half an hour of technical difficulties. It sucks, I know. Thanks to Eternia Forever. Eternia Forever, who just did a cheer, 225-bit cheer. He said, hope that I had a good day off and I'm now fresh, recharged, and prepared for a nice, high-energy, entertaining, fun stream. Indeed. Yesterday was a great day. And so now let's move on to the next topic of discussion. Yeah, yesterday was a great day. I got engaged, formally. You know, Leanna and I have been dating for over 5 years. And we were in a situation where, ever since we moved to the West Coast here together, we were planning on getting engaged. And eventually, you know, planning a wedding and all that. And sadly, because of all the financial difficulties we've had since we moved out here, it was just wave after wave of nonsense, right? And, you know, yeah, some of the things obviously could have been in our control, but the fact is most of them were not. You know, as much as people like to make shit up, sorry, but false copyright strikes against my YouTube channel I can't control. Sorry, but YouTube changing these algorithms of the entire freaking website to basically hide my channel in obscurity, I can't control that, you know? Sorry, but Google failing to actually run a profitable website because they don't know how to run a business and instead rely on crappy algorithms to allow ads to be divvied out, and those ads end up getting on racist and terrorist videos that make advertisers pull out of the business. That's not something I can control, you know? I've been making videos that people have wanted to watch for over 8 years. I'm not the problem. Google and YouTube are. And it sucks because I had every intention of actually proposing to her, you know, during a nice trip where maybe we were out in California and doing fun stuff and maybe even planning something special, you know? And I know it's cliche, everyone, oh, to do something, a crazy, you know, proposal where it's at a dinner or you're Disneyland or something like that. That would have been a nice thing, though, a nice memorable moment. Sadly, it just, at this point, it seriously did not look like it was going to happen at all at that point. And I was like, you know what? I already had this ring for years. And, well, I didn't have the ring for years. I had the ring for a while. But I just planned for years is what I meant to say. I was intending to do it. And I was like, at this point, enough is enough. We'd already agreed on this, like that we were going to go through with this years ago. That is true. Over 2 years ago, we had talked about getting engaged and everything. So, finally, we just did it. We're like, whatever, enough. We're not going to be doing any kind of crazy, giant, elaborate thing here. Doesn't make sense to do that. And wait for it. That's the thing. How long are you going to wait, right? But the sad fact is, you know, yes, we're engaged, and that's great news, and we're very happy to finally be engaged. But marriage, probably a far way off, man, because, first of all, we don't have any money for it. As you guys know, I'm trying to get out of a rut right now. And, you know, your help being here on the streams and contributing every day and everything has been great. It's been a big positive step towards that. But, yeah, at this point, I mean, there's no way. There's no way we're going to have any kind of a formal wedding or anything like that anytime soon. And as I already said, in my weekend preview video where I covered all this last night, it would be incredibly irresponsible for us to actually get, married right now, because I have so much incredible amount of debt in my name, which is accumulated only higher and higher over the years because now of my income has dipped 40% in the past 3 years because of all the YouTube bullshit, right? It would not be fair to get married and next thing you know, she would inherit all that debt. Because that's how it works, at least in the United States. If you get married, basically you share the debt. Now, not to say that that's fair, that makes no sense. But if, let's say, worst example, if we were to get married and I were to get hurt or pass away, these companies would try to come after her. And there's no way she's ever going to be able to pay that stuff off. So, it's ridiculous, and, you know, I wouldn't want that ever to happen. So, we basically just kind of have to wait it out, and I know it sucks. And that's the bottom line. Is it's not that we don't realize that we could just get married and not worry about a wedding. We know that. But to do that would make no sense. To rush out and do it and then have all this in her name and put this burden on her would be a terrible, terrible thing. So, yeah, in that regards, and that's the other thing too, a lot of people said, well, Phil, I don't understand. Why didn't you make this a big video to do? Many big YouTubers, when they, you know, when they do this, they propose, they make a big video, they record it, and they, you know, it's this big event. You want to know why? It's very simple. Because this is a private thing. This is a thing that's for us, right? And yes, we want to share that experience and at least share the positivity. But this is not something that's a fucking event to be monetized. You know what I mean? Like, we just saw WrestleMania last weekend. Juliana and I, we watched it. And we see John Cena proposing to Nikki Bella at fucking WrestleMania. And we fucking wanted to vomit. We're looking at this and we're like, can you talk about two faker people on the planet? Like, first of all, it was obvious the whole thing was staged, and it probably wasn't legit. Cena had probably already legitimately proposed to her, you know, way earlier. But to see that, like, it's funny because WWE actually thinks that that's something that's, like, good. Wow, look at this. This is cool. Now we can say that there was a proposal at WrestleMania. In reality, most people see that and they say, that's gross. Like, this is supposed to be a private thing between the two of them, a celebration of their happiness together, and instead you turn it into a commercialized fucking product. Like, oh, why did he propose? To make money. So that they could advertise WrestleMania, right? Not because they loved each other. How stupid. And, you know, and we were so turned off by that. We were like, man, we would not want to turn this into something that's like politicized or dramatized for YouTube. Let's just do it ourselves. That was the thing too. Even if we had gone on this trip to California and I proposed to her there, we had no plans to record that or anything. That was going to be our own thing for us, you know? So, yeah, that's the bottom line, folks, is that, you know, it was a nice thing between us, and that's that. You know, we didn't want it to be turned into something else. So anyway, folks, yeah, we're engaged. That's great. I'm sure like I said, I'm sure there's going to be many messages today about it, with cheering and everything. So definitely expect that, right? But yeah, we're happy. And, you know, we're hoping that if things keep moving positively forward here, that maybe in the next couple of years we can finally get to a point where we can talk about moving forward again, you know. But right now, it is what it is. Got to keep plugging ahead. Got to keep doing what we're doing. And hope that things turn around. You know, right now, things are looking good. I'm hoping we can keep this going. Like I said, we do need to keep stuff going. We got to keep the momentum going. So again, thanks to those who are here every day on the streams, cheering, subbing, tipping. And I know I keep saying that, but I mean, I have to emphasize how important it is. That is the momentum that has been going for a month that needs to keep going in order for me to not fall into financial ruin. I mean, worst case scenario, I might have to declare bankruptcy, and that's certainly something I don't want to do, you know? I'd like to get out of this. It might take a while, but I'd like to get out of this hole. All right. So anyway, outside of all of that, folks, the one other positive thing that I want to announce is that there is a new patron goal up for this month. And, yes. Oh, sorry. My laptop is really pissing me off. My laptop is very frustrating. It runs slower every day, I swear. But it is working. Anyway. Yes. Patreon, excuse me. A new Patreon goal has been announced for this month, okay? If you pledge $5 or more to my Patreon at patreon.com/DarksidePhil by the end of April, you will be able to nominate and vote on the next Patron's Choice playthrough. So allow me to explain. Right now, folks, I am actually in the middle of a Patron's Choice playthrough called Danganronpa. And this is a game that I knew nothing about until people actually nominated and voted on it in January. It was actually January patrons who did this in February. Excuse me. They nominated and voted on this game in February, and I started playing it in March. And I really like it. It's something completely different and interesting. Okay? And, yeah, it's a great game in my opinion, although it is very narrative-based. Now, people seem to be loving that playthrough, right? And I've actually got a ton of people who messaged me and said, Phil, you know, this game, I never even heard of it, but seeing you play it, it got me interested. I went out and bought it myself, or, you know, I recommended it. My brother, my friend bought it, and we're all loving this game, so thanks for playing it. And that's the cool thing about Patron's Choice, is that your power as a patron allows me to play stuff that I have no exposure to. You know, there's no way I could know what games are great out there. There's too many of them. So it allows people to tell me, Phil, check out this great game that you probably never heard of. And typically these turn into great playthroughs. I mean, Persona 5, the only reason I'm playing this game is because Persona 4 was chosen as Patron's Choice. I didn't even know about the series until the patrons got me into it, okay? Now, let's make this perfectly clear. I talked about this in the weekend preview, but I'll cover it right now very briefly, and then we'll get started with Persona 5, okay? Why am I doing a Patron's Choice playthrough as a goal for April when I haven't finished the game that I'm currently doing? Well, it's a very simple answer. Number one, because I'm close to the end of the game. I'm actually in the middle of chapter 5 of 6 in Danganronpa. So once I finally jump back into it, chances are within another week or two of playing it, I'm going to finish it. So I'm actually, it's not like, oh god, I'm not even close to finishing it. I am actually close to finishing Danganronpa, alright? Number 2, because the process of doing this takes a while. Let me explain. Right now, this month, you pledge $5 to my Patreon, right? That means that in May, you'll be nominating and then voting on a game. It takes a month to do so, because there's gonna be dozens, if not more people nominating tons of different games that then need to be narrowed down for a poll and voted on. It's a long process that takes a while. It's not an overnight thing. So, even though this is the goal for this month, this is a game that potentially I'm not even going to begin to start playing until June. And chances are, yeah, definitely by June, I'll have finished up Danganronpa, for sure. Because there's not that much left in it, okay? So that's why it makes sense to do it, because if I waited to finish Danganronpa before I did the next Patron's Choice playthrough, potentially, you're talking, I may not do that playthrough until, like, late summer, which would be stupid. You know what I mean? That would potentially be really dumb to have to wait until late summer in order to start a new playthrough up and have a couple summers there of dead time with no Patron's Choice playthrough going on, you know? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the patrons want to do. It's all in the hands of the patrons, all right? So, hopefully that will motivate you. If you've been a patron of mine and you kind of said, well, the past couple of months, you know, Phil did a Worst Games Ever marathon he's going to be doing, and there's going to be this patrons interactive event with Jackbox Party Pack, and those don't really appeal to me. Hopefully this month this will motivate you again to pledge, because this is one of the events that always seems to turn out well. I don't think I've ever done a Patron's Choice, right, that ended up being a game that people didn't like. It always seems to be something that people end up like, wow, this is really good. You know, I'm glad that this ended up winning the polls. So, all right. So thank you everyone for pledging to my Patreon and for you know, helping out on stream, watching the videos, everything. Appreciate it, okay? I guess we're gonna get started. Get started with some Persona 5 gameplay today. How does that sound? Sound good to everybody? Already we had kind of a mini bit cheer war here between Viking and Eternia Forever. I don't know if that'll erupt again. We had a couple of them last week, but then it kind of died down, which I expected, because with my birthday, a lot of people came out on my birthday to support me, and then after that it kind of died down over the weekend, which is to be expected. Maybe it'll pick up again, we'll see. Oh, Kushiaki Tori just did a 10-bit cheer, and he says, are you going to finish the Crash Trilogy when the remake collection comes out in June? I mean, I would consider it. It all depends on what games are coming out. Right now, a lot of people are saying, you know, Phil, are you even aware that this is coming out this week and this is coming out this week? And the answer I have is no. I have not updated my gaming schedule because I haven't had a chance. I haven't had a chance to pull a calendar out and say, oh, what are the game release dates for the next couple of months? I've just been too busy. I'm hoping to do that this week, maybe. You know, I still got to make the freaking vlog about Machinima, which I haven't had a chance to do because I'm doing double gameplay streams every day. I'm backed up right now, basically, because literally so many games came out in March, and most of them were so long that I just have not had a chance to touch upon the new stuff. I mean, oh my god, I have no idea how to pronounce this guy's name. Ravagius Hermage? He's been asking all morning here in the stream chat, am I going to be playing a story-based DLC for Neo on May 2nd? I don't know. Because I don't know, number one, I don't know how far along I'm going to be in all the games that I'm playing at that point. Number two, I don't even know the game release schedule for May. I haven't touched it yet. I seriously need to do it. I need to do that, but again, I need time to do it. Yeah, Mizzle1987 just said Prey 2 comes out on May 5th. Okay, great. Maybe I'll play it. I mean, I don't even know anything about it. Well, not Prey 2. I guess it was supposed to be like Prey 2 or Prey 3 or whatever. And then they rebooted it and now it's just Prey again. I need to do a gaming schedule update, and I need to do this vlog about Machinima, but I need time to do it, and I haven't had time to do it. Maybe what I'll do is one night this week, later this week, I'll take the whole night to do the vlogs, right? And instead of doing a second gameplay stream, I'll just sit down and do them both finally. That might make sense. Eternia Forever just did a 100-bit cheer, and he says, if I'm backed up, I suggest upping your fiber intake. Trust me, I'm not backed up in that way. I have no problems with that. Alright. Alright, everyone. Sorry again that I'm late today with all the technical difficulties. I think it's time to get started with Persona 5. Sound good? Sound good, folks? Alright, I think it's time. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate it. And let us begin with Persona 5, alright? Sounds good? Alright, very nice. Here we go.